Welcome back to another episode of Buzzworthy Businesses. I'm your host, John Visser. And today with me, we have a very special guest all the way down from Silicon Valley, Bill Lennan from 40% Better Company. Bill, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you, John. I'm doing well. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Can't complain.
And you're just saying that now on purpose because I told you where I was from and that it constantly rains up here. I'm going to get you for that one. That being said, Bill, tell us a little bit more about the 40% Better Company. What do you guys do there?
So we help businesses become more efficient, more effective, higher revenue producing by focusing on teaching team leads how to get the best out of their people. I just was listening to an episode of Diary of a CEO, and Mr. Beast was on, and he was talking about his philosophy of how he looks at his employees, and he puts a year plus of training in to get them to be up to speed, but then he expects 10 years of ROI on that training. And he says it's just a really effective engagement methodology for employers to have with the people on their teams. And, you know, Mr. Beast is doing pretty well. So I think that's some pretty good advice.
So why 40%? Why not 60%, if you don't mind me asking?
So this is a story from my past. I've been running software teams here in Silicon Valley for 25 years. A few years ago, I started a company, and the day that I started, the CTO said, kind of sheepishly at the end of our conversation, "I'm sorry to tell you this, but I'm giving you the worst performing software team in the company. Good luck." And I said, "Okay, I like a challenge. Thank you." 6 months later, I'm sitting at my desk. He comes over and taps me on the shoulder and goes, "Can we talk for a few minutes?" I go, "Yeah, sure." And he goes, "Come into my office." We go in, he closes the door, and he turns around and he goes, "What have you done to your team?" And I said, what are you talking about? And he goes, "I gave you the worst performing team in the company. I've been trying for years to make them better. You now have in 6 months the best performing team in the company. Their coding throughput is up by 40%. I've never been able to do that. What are you doing?" That's how I picked the name of the company, was based on that conversation.
And so it really looks like you have a knack with HR and with employees and with dealing with motivating teams. Was that always your passion, working with other people? I'm trying to reconcile because most of the time when we think IT people, we think, and I don't mean no disrespect, but we think nerds in front of a computer screen that doesn't talk, right? So how do you reconcile the
two? So when I started working with my very first software team, and I was one of those nerds, I spent all day pounding on a keyboard. I was at a startup, and the company founder said something to me which completely changed my mental models. I was a couple of months in, and I was talking to him about being stressed that I was trying to manage the team and at the same time keep coding. And he said, "Look, Bill, your job now as the team lead, your number one priority is to help your team become more effective, more efficient, and better at getting their work done. And by the way, happy about it at the same time." And that was a real mental shift for me, because all of a sudden I was like, oh, wait a minute. My job is to make them happier. What do I do? Happier and more productive. And so I just started looking for everything I could find that ultimately would, number one, improve their intrinsic motivation, and number two, improve their psychological safety. And over the years, I built out a system that consistently, repeatedly let us do that.
Well, human resources is by far, for me, one of the most important resources any company can utilize, but also one of the most complex resources to manage. Not everybody has that ability, and I would like to sit down for another 3 hours and talk to you about this. Unfortunately, our time on this podcast has come to an end here, my friend. So I want to thank you very, very much for taking the time to come and introduce your company to us. I also want to take the time to thank the viewers at home and the viewers at work for logging on and watching this episode. If you guys are interested in more companies like the ones we just featured, please log on to the Daily News Network. Until next time, thank you very much.